Alright, are we here? Are we online? I believe so. Gonna get my monitor up and running again. So this would be my third live stream of the day. I've been kind of wasted out by getting sick. I woke up with a sore throat and like just sneezing and all this craziness. So let's see. Number 3 live stream test. Yeah. Public. Alright. Just so that I can see myself, I put the monitor up like that. And what I should have noticed last time, so I need to watch my monitor more a little bit. And so I had switched the scene, switched to that scene, and I was kind of on this one for a little while. So, which is fine because I was just talking about some other random stuff. Just talking. So I wasn't really talking about my desktop too much. I mean, a little bit, maybe I was, but that's something I gotta be mindful of. I can look over, check my monitor. Right now we're on, so scene 2 is how I have it set up. We just got my desktop. And we got the picture-in-picture, whatever you call it. Okay, and the test for, so the last one we did there ended up at about an hour again. And the audio was okay, even with the door open and hearing the background noise, it seemed like it was okay. So that's the only thing, is to watch my monitor for, like, just so I know what my picture is looking like. Just gonna full screen the monitor. Cool. Yeah, so it's showing me what I've got here. I'm looking at kind of, wait, can I even, now I have to pull up OBS to see. I can't even, yeah. So I don't know if this is the right positioning unless I see the real time, which is why that window should be there. So there's this little window. Okay, this way I can see in real time. And you can't see that because my face is there. So this tiny little window here is my real time that I can see what I'm looking at. So I'm scoping out my monitor right now, which is just hanging off this cell phone. It's sitting on a cell phone. Just hooked up to one of the little weird stretchy thing that clamps. And I've been getting like hot flush type sweats today. It's not been fun, but I've been determined to test out my live streaming capabilities. Put that back there. Okay, and you can minimize or whatever. Ah, itchy. Itchy. Okay, we were doing a number of things. I'm just going to get back into it in just a moment here. As I was mentioning earlier, I like to hit the red button and record. And then it's kind of like whatever happens after that is just, you know, I don't need to think too hard about it without actually doing it. So this is that clip B. There it is, yep. So the file size is a lot smaller since I went to the mono track, since it's simply a monologue and I don't need to deal with left and right channels. So I'm just gonna hit that right away before I get into anything else. Just pull up my Otter and it's still processing that first chunk, so it's expected to take a while, 6 hours of audio to process. If I had to do it, it would literally take me more than 6 hours to listen through all of that for relevant pieces. Okay, so we got our B clip. This is our 6-hour monologue track. I'll make sure that's in view. A 6-hour monologue track. The first half and the second half. So we're going to drag the second half over there. And that way we're uploading. And now... I was just thinking about chatting with somebody, and the only way I contact them is through the Gmail chat, and I don't want to go through my emails right now. I don't want to broadcast my email. Oh my god, that looks like a goatsy picture. Who is the designer for that? Narratively. That's quite the image, people. Okay, so we're gonna go to YouTube. We're gonna grab my live stream link, because I don't know how else to do it. Or we could just watch America's Funniest Videos and do video commenting. Isn't that pretty popular, right? Okay, where are we at? Go to my channel, I guess. Can you show me live stream? Okay, so I don't like that they're all being called live stream test. 1, 2, 3. So at least I can call it test number 2. I don't know. Okay, I don't need to load that up right now, but it is working. Good. Stream test 2. Edit you. I just don't want them to be called the exact same thing. It's kind of dumb. Test number 2. Okay, here, cool. We'll grab this. And what? Oh, that's me live. I'm like, I just said that. Yeah, the Buckley's, the cold medication's kicking in. I'm having a hard time keeping my eyes open, but it's okay. As long as you don't mind, I don't mind. And so we're copying this live stream because the previous one is probably dead. We're going to throw it in. Okay. So this is part 3. I just ate super. Yeah. And so I was gonna say, like, I could advertise this in other places, but which is fine, but I don't actually want to chat with anybody unless they are a member of the guild. And so there's a few places to find people like that. And and this is part of the so as I mentioned the project earlier, maybe I can pull up that, I don't know if, where was I with this paper, what do you call it, smart sheet. Okay, so I was iterating some projects here. So there's Portal Mountain Minecraft Memory Palace, in which we get her done. I haven't put anything there. Sotsmania Superconductor, so Canvas Protocol I've mentioned before. Shared Calendar, we need that. just to kind of make this thing happen where people are chatting with each other and sharing a bunch of things. Like, it's already Christmas Eve, and tomorrow is going to be a big Minecraft day, I think, because I know one other person on Portal Mountain is going to be getting Minecraft. Their son will be getting Minecraft, so they will be on the server. Okay, so here we were quickly just looking through the smart sheet for the Sotsmania Superconductor Protocol or a project, communications media protocols for the doing of this. So we're like collecting a bunch of. I mean, ideally, this is kind of where my thoughts are in this idea of the Sotsmania Superconductor. Is like many people in the SOTS sphere, in the SOTS community, seem to have this desire to communicate and connect with each other, but nobody ever actually does. I'm just exaggerating. But we all share these projects with each other, like, oh, this would be a great idea, oh, that would be a great idea, but then it doesn't manifest, right? So what I want to do with this is talk to each other, set up meetings using something like Zoom or whatever, recording the meetings, and this being part of the personal production pipeline, which we should all ideally have some skill, some capacity, some responsibility to record meetings, to reach out to people, to manage your own schedule, to set up meetings with other people. And as I talked with Adam about this before, the setting up of the meeting isn't important. What's important is actually being live, setting aside that time where you're like, okay, now I will meet with anybody who talks to me. This is kind of a strategy, I guess, for getting over aversions, or what do you call it? I don't know. Just like that feeling like of depression, like where you don't want to reach out. Usually I find like probably most meetings that are scheduled don't happen, but if you're like, hey, I'm here, and then just do something, maybe that's a way. Maybe that might be a strategy for some people. But the idea is to get this whole these connections, these relationships, just using that word in a generic term, the knowing of another and contact, communicating, sharing of ideas. So the idea is that if we do this enough, a kind of something will emerge. Like this is how the social kind of works. Like if we do enough one-on-one, eventually something will come out of this altogether. And it could be like a shared idea of project space and how our projects fit together. It could be a shared ideas of reality space, of what is our shared reality, what's our reality together. So something emerges if we have enough of these concrete sort of narratives of people connecting together, sharing ideas, and then having this production pipeline up and running where your meetings are being recorded, transcribed, sent up to YouTube, whatever, and then others can view them as well. So when you're meeting with somebody, the ideal is that many people may be able to refer back to that meeting. So that's kind of Sotsmania Superconductor in a nutshell. The superconductor part is getting that shared vision to emerge, those shared visions to emerge. And that's what kind of conducts back down so you can see what's emerging, and you can either support it or do your own thing or whatever. And okay, so this is probably part of, maybe it's an overlapping project, but it's basically the same idea as the 2019 Meta Organization Members Only Summit, which is this idea of doing that, of connecting together. But this in particular isn't necessarily for everybody. This is for members of the guild. You probably know, I'm just going to say, you probably know if you are a member of the guild. It's kind of a life-changing thing. Like, I don't know if I would be able to do any kind of justice in a very quick thing, but it's analogous to spiritual rebirth and all that kind of stuff. Like, to connect with the tree of life, to be in life again. And that kind of, I mean, getting into all that great axial war stuff, this schism between the mind and the body. This is a communion between the mind and the body. That's part of what's described by membership in the guild. Anyway, so when this happens, we become self-directed, and we all seem to be working on the same project. And it's really amazing how this doesn't, or at least, I mean, I can't say doesn't, it's my locality, that I'm seeing this emerge only from my own efforts and from some select efforts of those around me. Very concretely, seeing it happen very much. But it's, yeah. Anyways, so membership in the guild, the members only summit, the Meta Organization Members Only Summit. The idea of this is to get together with people who are in that space, who are already self-motivated, self-actualized, whatever you want to call it. All seem to be working on the same stuff, and just do these summits, these conferences. This may be the first year. I'm sure it's already been done many years before and all this kind of stuff, and that's just the nature of this thing. You never know what's already been done, and it doesn't matter, because it's the same thing happening everywhere. It's all happening everywhere. This emergence pattern, these connecting of human beings together, is what happens. And it's not like you can say, oh, that's already being done over here. Great. That's called synchronicity. It doesn't mean that I don't do it over here. Everybody's doing it. Everybody who can is doing it. So that's kind of like the emerging quality of this type of the guild, and of this type of members only summit. The idea of this is like Illuminati networking, the good Illuminati, or however you want to say, the isomorphic wholesome mythos. Anyways, so where was I going with all that? Does it even matter? We're looking through, yeah, so it does matter. That's the context. Slotsmania superconductor. This is just to get people together and to start seeing each other, and until something emerges. Let the mania emerge. That's all. I'm not saying it has to be a certain goal or objective. It's just, I know that if we connect together and make these relationships, and have this production pipeline going, things are going to happen. Like, we should each have our own podcast. We should each have our own pipeline. If we want something like that to emerge. And so that's kind of the origin, the genesis of this project. And that's kind of good. So Genesis protocol. that's another interesting one. So we have mention of this, so that's good. Now looking back, I see we are at 22 minutes. 22 minutes, and I've been talking for about 5 minutes, and this is about the genesis of the Sotsmania, and this links in with live streaming. This links in with the production pipeline and the members only summit. So I'm just marking there that whatever, at 22 minutes or 20 minutes into this video, we have some talk about something, a very important topic. It's extremely important because I haven't really gotten into it concretely into any genesis of the motivations behind what I'm doing right now. So right now I'm live streaming. I'm practicing my production pipeline. I'm because I know that broadcasting myself, this is what people have to do to be heard by each other, and to potentially go viral, to be heard by any and all. Like, this is what the internet's for. So I feel that this is really that this whole live streaming stuff is really a gateway for me out into a whole wild world of more adventure. Like, that's really what it is. I see a lot of potential here, and yeah, so I've been working on my production pipeline for a long time, cutting tracks and doing all this kind of stuff, but it never came all together into this moment, this moment, this now, the moment of now. Like, it's always seems to be about planning and planning, but this is a moment that's being created right now, that you know, it's cast out there, it's being recorded there. Millions of bits of data are just being like encoded into storage media and sent across the internet to multiple places. It all just happens at once. So as I'm speaking right now, these words are causing modulations of signals on through physical media, through all this kind of stuff, and this reaction outwards to when I speak, to having other devices in other places around the world responding to that moment that is right now. It doesn't need a name. It doesn't need a purpose or a plan. And this, I think, is again, like I said, it's awesome. This is gonna lead me places. That's how I feel. It's kind of like more capacity, more potential. And, well, I wonder how to keep this window up. It's kind of annoying. This window right here, you can't see. Now you can see it. I'm kind of like putting it behind myself, but anyways, I keep losing it. That's what I have my monitor for, so that's okay. I can see what's going on. I know that I'm sharing my desktop and that I have the picture-in-picture image there of myself. And I still could probably move further to the right. Ugh. And still, because I'm kind of leaning over, kind of leaning a bit. But I'd like to be centered in the picture if I can. No, that's the wrong way. Are we still getting my highway in the background? Okay, no, I just ruined it. There we go. Two different webcams that I'm looking at here, I guess. Okay, so here we are, ladies and gentlemen. All one of the viewers out there, which is probably me. Can I even see one watching right now? If I refresh this, this is current, I believe. believe it's live. One watching started streaming 27 minutes ago. Okay, cool. So I'm talking to myself, but that's all right. That's a nice painting. I made that 5 years ago. This is kind of one of the initial, you could almost call it like a sigil or something. It's like an artifact. It's a meaning, a collection of meaning. This symbolizes the coming together, which I experienced, of the mind and the body, the coming together of the scientific mind and the subjective experience of reality, as well as the image. So science being very objective, rational, linear thinking. When you listen to my voice, it makes sentences and they come together and end in a period. When you're looking at an image, you are seeing my face, my glasses, you are seeing a window in the background, some curtains, but you're seeing all this at once, and this is the left brain, right brain dichotomy. That you're seeing these objects as well as the desktop. I mean, and all of this, it just kind of, everything means something to itself, in relation to each other. And it's not something that you sit there, that your brain sits there telling you. You are watching a desktop and it has this icon in the top left and it has a whole bunch of tabs along the top. It doesn't work like that. This is the intuitive mind, the way that the mind looks after pictures. Instead of a rational, linear, objective explanation, you get a pop, you get an image, and you see all these objects. These objects are coming up into your perception, and they are relating to each other in ways that you can explore. But you get a kind of overview effect. You don't have to go into each blade of grass or each little icon. Anyways, that's a little gem of a tidbit. I'll get into that a lot. This is the mind-body schism and all that. We need to learn more about our inner mechanics of perception in order to see how the world in our environment has been exploited in some ways, and really gone off track to kind of become out of our control. The breakaway civilization and all that kind of stuff, where the environment just presses down upon you and you have no way of pushing back. It doesn't care about you, kind of stuff, like all those feelings, alienation. In order to get to the deep causes and roots of those problems, and some approaches we can take to deal with that, we need to look very deeply into how the mind works. And even this, the way that I'm presenting this to you, it's not in the form of an essay. I'm not giving you a thesis. This is the third live stream test. We're at probably about 3 or 4 hours of recording today, and we've just kind of meandered along different things. I call this the strike point protocol. So you could say our strike point here is simply live streaming itself so far, figuring out how to do live streaming, how it works, getting used to that idea of being in production, and just explaining some of my equipment and all this kind of stuff. And this will continue to unfold as I go along. I'll be able to incorporate to kind of fill out the picture a bit more, and I believe that we're going to end up with quite a body of work here of what you could call just like artifacts of expression. And that wake of artifacts left in the wake, there's a lot of power in that. Again, like that is, production is part of it. This is how things can possibly go viral, is when we capture those moments. but really, I'm gonna have to keep updating people and keep saying the same things over and over again, and that's kind of what it is to be live, because people come and go. You're always talking to new audiences, new people, um, and even though things have been explained once, they're gonna have to keep being explained, and I have to keep kind of coming back to the context that I'm in, because you never know who's gonna jump in or hop on or hop off. Um, this is kind of a later consideration, but it's just an interesting thought that with this process that I'm following, that I will have to keep end up kind of repeating things, and the idea is kind of to share this with my direct community, with my peers, and hope that that I can make contact, that people can that people close to me can make sense of what I'm doing and what I'm saying, and that they will end up encountering this production pipeline of mine, enough that a resonance starts to arise, and this is kind of getting into all the protocols and stuff like that. That ability to coherently share and flock behavior. So we'll get into a lot of that kind of stuff. Like, it's endless. I don't need to plan any of this out. There's no need whatsoever. But the viewer may be annoyed or disturbed by that feeling that there may be no overarching, like, this is what we're doing now. This is what we're doing now, like a plan, so to speak. But again, like I said, I do want to dynamically pull up these little mini plans. So that's that. I'm gonna stop talking about that. So that was the genesis of the Strike Point and a number of projects, and how they kind of make sense, and how this is kind of just trying to accelerate people together, trying to create a bit of a vortex of relationships and these artifacts, and connecting together to help us shared visions emerge. And this is just something that I think should be happening in any community. We need to start up these relationships with each other, and from that, things emerge. We talk about our context, what's important to us, what's local to us. This is direct peer-to-peer relationship. This is how the guild operates. It's very... it's a very different mode of relationship, of relating to others, than, say, for example, through the GovCorp state, through agents of GovCorp. So, like, in other words, when the people you're talking to are being paid to listen to you, it's like we can see that whole dichotomy again. Like, am I live streaming this for production, or am I live streaming it because it's my life? Because this is just part of my life, and I don't owe anybody a product. Some people may be able to see, kind of, to put that analogy, that parallel there, to see that it really is the same thing. And then, so when you're relating to people, like, I'm trying to come up with an example of, like, in this context. Like, if I was to talk to a therapist and just talk out my ideas with a therapist, it can only go so far. At the end of the day, they're going home to their family and their own community, and they'll have nothing left anymore to do with me until the next time I pay them. Right? There's this kind of, like, this kind of disconnected, and this is the breakaway civilization where the mind has swept us and carried us away. and even in the ways that we relate to each other, and this is why we're feeling all this alienation. And I don't want to get into all this kind of stuff that I've talked about so much in the past that I don't really need to get into right now, but that's a little kind of tidbit of the kind of stuff, like these little highlights that you're going to find peppered all throughout, and much more once we kind of get going, once I figure out how to do live streaming better. So anyways, let's maybe just check on some of our progress here. So our 6 hours, yeah, nice, yeah. So this is 6 hours of transcript, and it's massive. That's a ton of text. It's just me talking to myself. So what I do is, I believe I can. So when I export this text, so it's all me, but I think I can take off. Oh, there's a setting for monologue. Ooh, but that's bad. Okay, that puts it all into one giant chunk, and that's not good. So what we do instead, include time, so just take out the timestamp, is that it? And the name? Okay, if we do that, yeah, we're still gonna get some big chunks and it's kind of broken up. So that's fine. This is a one giant insane monologue. So, oops, I'm gonna go ahead and just export this while I'm here, while I'm at it. We have our first half of that monologue. And we will save the file, 306A Otter, and we'll open her up. Yeah, I also found out another thing about this piece of equipment. When I dropped it, which was, this monologue was actually longer than 6 hours, so I'd been going for a little bit, and I had to retape it or something, so I was going for an hour, I don't know. Anyways, you can see here on the screen that the file size is 0, so whatever I was doing, it has no record of it, so I lost it. So in other words, I shouldn't be doing 6-hour recordings, because I need to break them up, not only for Otter's sake, because it doesn't like bigger than 4-hour clips, but that MP3 player will just dump whatever it's doing. Like if the battery pops out, which happened, it's not gonna finish up that file and it'll be lost. So that's a bit of a lesson learned. And where should I put this? So the last time I did that, this was the October 2019 Media Expression project. That was 33 hours of 33 hours of straight recording of just talking almost as fast as I could, probably at about this speed, just going through one subject after another. And this is the word cloud of basically what it all came out to be. And you can see here, protocol number 1, people. I just love that word, don't I? And we got all kinds of other cool words here in this word cloud, which you can just, I mean, you can kind of absorb that a little bit. Is it full? No, don't. That's a full screen icon, you nutter. Oh, here we go. Okay, anyways, it's not getting any bigger. That is the guild. Yep. Communion, schism, culture. Alright, so what I did was just put those log files, the transcripts, right beside the file itself. So I'm just going to do that again here. We're going to save this thing, document, desk, no, what is it called, music, no, is it, yeah, that's where I keep my clips. Okay, and it should go right here, I believe. We'll just save that up. Okay, and while I'm here, very quickly, I'm gonna go back and grab that meeting that I had with Dustin, which I transcribed. Okay, and here it is. So we're gonna go ahead and export the text. This time we do want the names and the time, because it should be broken up. This is a transcript between two different people, so it should be broken up. And I can just see, I know Dustin wouldn't say the word axial age, pretty sure. So again, transcript's not perfect, but we'll export that. And open it up. There it is. So we're copying this into the document that we made earlier. Transcript. So I also have to manually... No, I just... Okay, yeah, good. I thought I copied that 6 hours of transcript. Pleasure to be here. Who said that? Alright, anyways, that's the show. Welcome to the show. We are live and you are on the show. Okay, so word cloud, I have to manually do that. For whatever reason, it doesn't like me. Copy and direct, so we'll go up to the top. And just type out our word cloud. People fucking, pardon me. Those are our first two most common keywords. Recording, talking, life, thinking, ability, symbol, interesting, generations, podcast, line, couple, pressure, axial, racist, peace. Image, crazy receptors, purple, good. Here we go, off to our document. That's our word cloud. And that's it. So I don't have a YouTube link for this. And it would be nice, wouldn't it? Like, if somebody wanted to just listen to this rather than have to read through all of it. And it was a pretty... It was a good discussion and some weird, like, not weird, stuff you don't normally talk about, like drugs and stuff. I don't think anything bad came out of that. Dustin. For the visually impaired, yeah. So yeah, this is a moment. I was talking about Phenibut, and I think that was... Yeah, and we were talking about some other drugs and stuff, and... that's funny. Nice to come across that. So, for the visually impaired, As Brian presents Dustin a handful of pills he randomly pulled out of his pocket. What are they? It's like a social anxiety type pills for helping deal with social anxiety. Cognitive affective. Really? Did I say that? The cognitive effects. That's what you use it for. Take a chill pill. Alright. Shitbag. Yeah, we talked about like other drugs and stuff and life experiences with that, and we've kind of, a lot of us have moved on from the ways that we used to be in hurting ourselves and those around us. Yeah, so anyways, it was a good interview. We got 26 pages there. And so here's the pain for YouTube. If I want to upload this audio file, we need to make a new video. We need to make it into a video. Otherwise, YouTube will not accept it. So we got this program called Caden Live, I think. Caden Live. So what I can do, this is getting back to our last little live stream that we did. So Sots Mania, it's already been exported. We got a bit of a splashed screen for that video. So we're gonna go into Caden Live, and again, we're kind of just going over the production pipeline here. I'm trying to explore this, what I would call a strike point domain. So the strike point being live streaming itself, and then there's all these kind of factors and tools and things that you'd want to do. So I'm just kind of bouncing from one to another, kind of painting a picture about it. So here we are at Caden Live. Where are you? Wherever it went, because I'm sure I clicked on it. Here it comes. I don't think we're processing anything else, so I don't know why this would be slow. Just a big program maybe. And why am I hearing noise? Okay. Probably some artifacts from this this software coming online, accessing the sound, the audio output. Okay, so here's our basic thing. That's what we're looking at. So we're going to add, this is our project bin. The project bin has all the little pieces that you want to put into your video. So we're going to come back down to clips, and I'm feeling very tired right now. That Buckley's kicking in pretty good. So where are we at? So are we in the right folder? Yes. Yes, we are. Okay, and it was 306, right? No, 308. Yep. So this is our audio file. I guess it's going to process it a little bit there. It'll take some time. And once we've processed that, we can drag it into our workspace. Until that point, I'm going to go grab that image that we made. Where was it? Images. Why I keep hearing like artifacts? I don't think I'm doing anything. I'm hearing artifacts, sound artifacts through my headphones. It's fine. It's probably Caden Live. So where were we? Images? Why am I there? Where am I? No, don't want to do a search. Okay, images, memes. I think we're after memes. Am I in documents still? Images, why are you not changing? Okay, whatever. Go up. Well, that's sad. Okay, we'll go this way. Users. I could just go to sleep. Okay, videos, pictures. Now we're in pictures. Good. Now we're gonna find our file. Do 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 do. Maybe I should make a coffee. That seems insane at 9 o'clock at night. Maybe Adam might be on pretty soon. Maybe he can wake me up. So SOTs. And what do we... Did I not export that? Thought I did. Export as memes SOTs award. Okay, so I just went into SOTs. So whatever, re-export it over here. No big deal. Now it's here, SOTs Mania. Okay, that's our thing. So we're gonna drop this audio, yep. Audio 1, and we'll take our video, and you're just gonna go like that. Is that, do I need to do that? I think I do, yeah. SOTs Mania, and it wants it, wow. Yeah, so it is, it's that the sides could be trimmed, but this doesn't even matter. So I'm gonna zoom out, hold control, and scroll wheel down. So I can grab this, and what I'm doing is, so that was a 50-minute chat. We're in video 2, we don't need to be. So I just want to line this up. So this is the software, I'm telling the software that I want this audio clip here, this whole 50 minutes, and I want a picture to be displayed for this entire time. So we see A1 here, that's audio, and we see V1 here, that's video. So we're gonna go project render, then we're gonna name our render. So this is, what do we call it? It was on the 19th, so I think, so December 19, 2019. We'll just call it PSD and Dustin. Output file into the videos folder. Our quality is, might as well be not, like, why can't I, okay. Not 0, but I don't think, the audio is going to sound like crap anyways, there's nothing's going to save this clip. So render project, we'll just hit render to file, and now up here it's gone into the queue, so this is waiting to be rendered. And this is kind of all the stuff that you have to do if you're not live streaming. And this is also kind of post-production type stuff that you may be using to make clips. YouTube has its own internal clip editor or whatever, I think, so that may be more ideal than exporting. Okay, why are we waiting? I don't know, it's gonna go, it'll do its thing. Here we go, remaining, it's gonna take an hour. Alright, so I probably won't be, I don't know, that's gonna take forever. I probably won't be uploading it to YouTube in this live stream, but you never know. Okay, so let's quickly finish up what we were doing here. So with Otter, we'll just see where we're at with that. My conversation. So we have part A, part B. Part B looks like it's come around. Yes. And speaker matching, of course, it's all, this is a monologue. This is a giant monologue. And again, what I like about this software is I can easily, if somebody needs a section to be properly transcribed, I can easily say like, okay, this paragraph, and I'm hearing it in my earphones right now. See, that's exactly what I'm saying. The the AO, not the EO. Concept. Okay, so that was word for word exactly what I said, which is nice. Just the AO. So I can update that and either re-export it, or I can just concentrate on certain portions and re-export them. Yeah, because auto-transcribing isn't exactly perfect. It's just kind of like, it is what it is, and I probably won't be fixing any transcriptions, but if somebody requested a certain spot, or I find that I talked about something really important, and it's going to be even further, you could say, post-produced, then I can always come back here and do that stuff. So that's nice. I like that about this service. There are other ones that are free, and ideas like I could play this back. I can play files back into the microphone and have Google Translate do it, but that's kind of dumb because I already have the clips. So as you've seen here with Otter, I just want to upload an MP3 file and let it do its thing. I don't want to literally be playing back a file for 6 hours to my computer so that it can transcribe something. So there we are. So now I'm going to make so we've got this file here for that meeting with Dustin, and I'm going to make a new document. That's fine for the name. We'll copy out a template, make a new one, new file, and this is going to be for the 6-hour monologue. And the reason why I am including it here is basically because it's very recent stuff, and it's a lot of talking about this live streaming, like a lot of my thoughts on live streaming and protocols for that before I even really started doing it. And this was just last week I was talking about it, so should be fairly relevant. So it's not a meeting. It was December the 19th, I think. Anyways, whatever. So monologue. Is that correct spelling? Monologue? So PaperSheepdog on live streaming and other stuff, probably. Let's just say so. Meetings, can I consider it part of this? There's a lot of stuff in here, I'm sure, on the production pipeline, so it's probably very much relevant. That's kind of why I did that monologue, was to help me sort ideas. So I'll put a note here of that. Help me sort ideas for live streaming and the personal production pipeline. cool. And one watching now. Again, it's probably me. I've got my monitor up there. Yeah. So as far as I know, YouTube doesn't recommend anybody to watch your stuff unless you're um, making like at least one video a week or something like that. So I'm gonna be doing much more than that for now in this upcoming week or two. But anyways, it's not really, it's not for random YouTubers to stumble across. This is really, I want to be sharing it with my network. And again, I'm just kind of testing the live stream portion of the pipeline right now. So that kind of reminds me that I was talking about Bjork's Nest. Wow, okay, that's cool. So I was just talking about, and I was just getting into this part about the members only summit and why I do or do not want to post this live stream on Sod's lobby. Kind of one of the purposes is that I want to again be speaking with as much as possible, as high a possible of coherence of peers as possible, just to kind of work together to already be on much of the same page and kind of connect high level. So this is kind of like a yearly idea. I'm going to do this every Christmas as the first annual 2019 Meta Organization Members Only Summit. And so as far as meetings, like I'm kind of trying to prioritize for those who I know are fairly close peers, and probably nothing bad would happen by posting the live stream here. Like I don't have to chat with anybody. I don't have to do anything. It might be, yeah, I mean, might be interesting just to play around, but then I don't want to waste a whole bunch of time in there. Just getting all self-referential and all that. So let's get back to this little bit of work that we have left on this monologue. I'm definitely not posting that monologue. Not going to post it, but I will post this transcript so that it can be searchable and for my future reference, and hopefully I'll be able to pull some protocols out of it. That's kind of what I'm hoping, that I'll be able to search keywords for key protocols and then just copy walls of text to give context for those protocols on live streaming and other stuff. Good. There will be none. Transcription. Okay, so here is the thing. So A, do we have it already? A we have, so B we need. Just export. Mania, Project Mania. Yeah, lots of, so like I could just go on and on about, like I could use these to bounce off thoughts. Like sometimes my mind seems to go on faster than how I can capture it even into words. So this is a constant challenge And sometimes I'll just space off, just kind of going into the rabbit hole, so to speak, and I'll find that I've gone too far even to remember where I started and how to bring a potential viewer or audience along with me, and that's just the way it is. That can happen sometimes. So that there's just an example of how to use these transcripts. So I jumped off of that. It's going too fast and you get a thought and it just goes in a direction like a lightning bolt. Yeah. Yeah, a lot of talking there, monologuing. So I have to remember when I export, so take that speaker name and timestamps, continue. Okay. Save it. Otter B. I'm feeling this is going to be like, I'm going to sleep very well tonight, I think, because it feels like it's been a full day. And like, I'm pretty sure if I post the live stream to this chat, like I just have a feeling like there'll be not safe for work images posted there or something, like somebody's gonna try something or whatever. Not that it matters, again, like I said, can't control that stuff. Just kind of is what it is, a matter of fact. So I just got an idea. Oh yeah, I wanted to look up in OBS how to broadcast desktop sound. I show you? No. That's some specific product, isn't it? No desktop audio. Okay, what is this I show you though? Oh, that's the same. That's the same site. See the green bar move? When I make a recording and check the stream, yeah, so. Ready for bed. Is your head bedtime? Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying. So, desktop sound. I don't know, that's what I want to do. Settings, audio. Desktop audio device. Front headphone jack, are you crazy? Desktop audio device. How does that make any sense? I don't care what my desktop audio device is.
Just drop it.
What?
Drop it.
Drop what?
Stop it.
Stop live streaming? No, I'm trying to figure something out. Front headphone jack selected. Okay, let's see what that's about. So, settings, audio, headphones, no. Like if I select that, why would it make any difference? It's already going there. Connexent. Okay, alright. So let's save the changes. Now, if I make a noise, wait, in that one? Okay, is that what you mean? So this is I can hear the chime in my headphones. I don't necessarily want to change it to, well, at least I can test this later, so. Laptop audio, okay. There we go, so that was loud. Cool, so maybe that's coming through now. So I can go back to my headphones. Yeah. Cool, alright. So maybe that worked. And Otter B, okay. Good, and we can see here we're getting some chunking, some paragraph chunking, that's good. And so in Otter A, I just wanted to make sure that's the case as well. Yeah, we're getting some chunking. That's a lot. That's a lot. It's just easier to read if there's some chunking in the output. It's anytime there's a gap in talking, it kind of it just puts a new line, so it kind of breaks up. Minecraft thing is a neat idea. It's a visual meditation. Minecraft Memory Palace project. Okay, so we're gonna open the folder that this is in. I'm trying to keep my eyes open while looking at text on the screen. I'm getting very tired from it. Speaker matching in progress still. Okay, there may be more chunking. Dang, it's still going. So I'm not sure if I should have exported yet or if I'm going to just have to re-export. Speaker matching. It's a monologue. Alright, anyways, it doesn't really matter. So we're going to go downloads. We got B here. Otter B, okay. What did I just do? Alright. So we'll open up Otter A. Copy that. Throw it into our document. There should be a word cloud here. Cloud. Anyways, this is going to be a lot. 6 hours of talking. We're pasting it into a GDoc right now. Yeah, 51 pages. Let's try the next half. Otter B. Copy that. So there's a pretty big challenge even just thinking how to use this, how to process that, such an enormous amount of data. And this becomes a major problem or factor of production because you almost want to remember things and use that, the highlight or the timestamp protocol to make notes of highlights as you go along of what was really good and what you liked, but that's a whole other nuisance when you're monologuing and you're rolling with it. You don't want to have to stop and make note of something, right? So like I can go to any part of this as a 100-page document almost. ODS, ODB, okay, so we're talking about this broadcast or the live stream protocol here. Discussing about selecting the scenes. yeah, glasses and chest cam. So this is later on. I want to be able to do wireless recording and have more flexibility to be able to leave a Wi-Fi hotspot, such as my living room here. Okay, so what I would do, the only protocols I have in place so far for even getting any kind of handle on this is let's say the word protocol. So I can do a search for protocol, and we've got 125 mentions. So here we have the dictate protocol. So this is a mention of the dictate protocol, and I can do a search for this, grab out a clip of whatever I was talking about, whatever's relevant, and then add it as context for the development of the dictate protocol itself. And I've just been sitting in one position for a while. Oh, so I gotta stretch out. Anyway, so that's how I would do it. I would take the context surrounding this dictate protocol, live streaming. So what I'm doing right now, you could say it's a continuation of the dictate protocol. Yeah, so if something was useful here for the development of the protocol itself, in other words, if I actually go ahead and explain certain behaviors or certain heuristics that the protocol is capturing, almost like an if-then statement. It's more like an event driven. Like if something is happening, then you do this. So if you're live streaming, you do this. If you're doing dictating, you do this. So library protocol, coherence protocol, schedule protocol. So now I'm just flipping through. Minecraft protocol, meeting protocol, homestead protocol, strike point protocol, alias protocol. So here we can see already this is one of the ways that I've found useful to going back to these monologues. One way would be mining protocols out of it, because I've specifically been trying to articulate protocols as I go along. Notepad protocol. So it's called the freestyle protocol or the notepad protocol. So here I'll give you an example. Because notepads can just be used for, like, where's my notepad? I'm going to write down my stream of thought. It's not necessarily the attempting to write isomorphic components of the operating system or externalized artifacts representing parts of their cheers. So, whoa, okay, that's a little bit off, but yeah, I would probably have to re-listen to that. However, the example here is that we can see write down stream of thought, and it's not necessarily attempting to write isomorphic. So what I mean by that is it doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to actually be a protocol that you're writing down. When you're using Notepad protocol, you may be writing something down that you intend to develop as a protocol, but until you have time to properly think about that and articulate it, you're just going to write down a reminder to yourself and some basic introductory or like initial thoughts and contemplation about that. So that's Notepad protocol. So we'll go over to Portal Mountain Wiki, and we're just going to go down. I'm going to show you the protocol database that I've been developing, and this was the last couple of weeks, maybe a month or whatever. So I've managed to articulate, to not only articulate, but to pull together a whole bunch of past protocol articulations. Even just the name of the protocol, even having the name is important, because from there it almost writes itself. you're just kind of writing the facets of a domain. So, and each thing has meaning in relation to other things. So that's what I mean by they write themselves. When you have a kind of outline of this protocols like this, they paint a picture, they create kind of systems all together. So what we have here quickly is I use the strike point protocol again, even just to articulate this. So when I'm articulating protocols, I tried to start focusing on the core. And the core is not about anything in particular. But and that's what makes it extremely difficult to articulate, because the self-referential nature of it just makes it almost insane to articulate. So, for example, we have something like the Bootstrap protocol, which says you're taking protocols and then you're provisionally applying them to your reality as a test of that model to see if it works for you or if it does anything. And another facet of the Bootstrap protocol, or another factor, is that once the behavior has been bootstrapped, you drop the artifacts. Whatever got you there, you don't need them anymore, because now you understand what you're supposed to be doing. You don't need, in other words, you don't need to follow instructions, and the heuristics have been integrated into your reality of what things are, your idea of the cosmos, of a certain area of behavior. So you've kind of learned better of what the object, what types of objects you're going to encounter in an environment and how they relate to each other and how you relate to them, in order to sustain and maintain constraints of that system such that the object types themselves are sustained and things don't fall apart. And that's what protocols are about. They're about manifesting just whatever types of objects or whatever you're doing, whatever facet of human behavior. You have inputs and you have outputs. Doesn't matter what it is. And yeah, so that, just speaking generally like that, we're talking about the core. And so we have different strike points here. So I went local proximity. This is about dealing with yourself. So like concern protocol, this is like taking care of your nutrition, exercise, rest, fitness, all that kind of stuff. And so that's not core. This is already getting into the kind of system itself, but this isn't really relating to other people. This is something that you do. As well as the linchpin protocol, which is an exercise to facilitate awareness of the fundamental mechanics of the neural operating system. And so that's something, again, that you really do by yourself. You don't need the context of others. And then we have strike point domain. So the deck or database, this is close to core, but and it's not necessarily relating to others. Like, you can use the deck protocol to keep track of your protocols, keep track of your life, and it's kind of an isomorphic, externalized representation of internal processes of your mind. And this is why it's supposed to be isomorphic, meaning there's a direct mapping between what's going on in your mind and the mind processes and how it works, and the layout of cards, of index cards, or in within the AO. So that deck protocol, this ability to have this database, this externalized medium, is important for helping you to converge upon your own, to get better at doing things yourself. Like, for example, you could write a recipe for making cookies. If you follow that recipe and you find, okay, it's too sweet, you physically alter that recipe on your paper, you take your index card with the recipe on it and you scratch out this amount of sugar and put less, right? And so that's an example of the feedback protocol, which is ever important, that whatever models, whatever we're doing and using, our whole reality has to be resonant and dynamic with that which we experience. So there's kind of like the mind simulation of reality that the brain creates. And then there's that constant encounter with the outside environment. And so the feedback protocol is there to remind us and ensure that we are being dynamic and that our models are not being mistaken for reality. And it's not like this is the perfect cookie recipe. It's like this is a provisional recipe. This will help you make good cookies, hopefully. And you have to trust the source, and trust is part of it. That's just an integral factor of trying to share behaviors. You always have that trust as being an issue. Whereas, I mean, if you're a cooking website online, people, they inherently just trust that. They're looking for a recipe. You know, they've got a rating of 5 stars or whatever on this recipe. A number of people have said that it's good. So that's good enough, right? And every type of every attempt to share behavior is going to run up against that. Are you trusted? And or is this dangerous? You know, like, what's the worst that's going to happen if you try a cookie recipe and it was, haha, a trick, and now your cookies suck? Probably not very likely. But anyways, decreasing the amount of sugar in a recipe is an example of taking that that program that you've been given, and I'll get into the difference between program and protocol later, but they can essentially be, they can be used, they can be swapped, their usage and meaning can be swapped. But they behave kind of fairly differently. So anyways, you're taking a program like a recipe and adjusting it and saying that it should be different, and this is feedback. And again, that's within our core. We have protocols for that. And articulating this has been such a challenge. And even trying to articulate to people why do I do it? Because nobody wants to be told what to do. It's like, I can't tell you. Like, this operating system is gonna simply emerge and come online, and you either see what it's doing or you don't. And there really is no way, you know, coming back to that trust issue, like, would you trust me to tell you how to do something? If this is a typical online relationship where people don't know each other, then of course why would it make sense to you that I'm writing protocols? Because you don't know me and you don't care about me. You're not going to be running any of this stuff. So that's been a challenge. Definitely a big challenge, that it's just the work is not very well understood, or has not been in the past. But now that we've been able to lay out so many details here, it's like I'm doing this. I'm currently utilizing some of these protocols, and so can you. Especially like what I'm hoping for is like these like live streaming protocols, the protocols relating to the production pipeline, so that others in my network can start communicating better, and that I can see their expressions, and just so we can help each other to kind of lift each other up. And you'll find protocols for doing that, that kind of stuff here. For whatever facet of human behavior, model articulation. Yeah, so that's a quick intro to the Portal Mountain Wiki, particularly the protocol database. And not to hit that cliche, but and this is, to my knowledge, a cliche, but I'm not trying to invent a system out of thin air. I'm trying to create an isomorphic augmentation of the neural operating system out in the externalized media, shared media. So um, what that means, my point of what that means is that um, you are already doing this stuff. I don't need to convince your brain to operate on heuristics, to operate using like these protocol type of understandings. I don't need to tell you to have commitments or to have a schedule to your execution, um, execution of commitments. I don't need to tell you these things, you just do it. However, and of course software is already out there and to facilitate and to augment our our cognition. So the stuff's already out there. We're already doing this kind of stuff, and that's the cliche. I'm not inventing anything new. You're already doing it. You're already doing what I'm talking about. I'm just describing it. I'm creating a metacognitive um, expression. This is our work on a metacognitive framework. And of course, it all comes together into this wonderful hyperstation of the Guild, and of Portal Mountain, and of the mimetic replication of the medicine, the mimetic medicine, and this all comes together as a whole. So what I'm doing is what other people will be doing, and what other people are already doing, to varying degrees of coherence. And what we have to offer is an aligning and increasing of coherence in certain facets of that work, particularly the core, which is what helps things all work together. And this is what anybody will end up driving towards, to figure out and discover this type of a system in order to share with each other. This is like the neurology of network space, of space between people, people as neurons. This is just the technology to connect to each other as a giant brain, in some ways of speaking. Now, don't take that as like the Borg type scenario. It's simply that our thoughts become so fluidic, and our ability to connect things just work and operate smoother. And also we're talking about a different paradigm of kind of peer-to-peer connection. So we're not talking about hierarchical relationships. We're talking about a vision of nature and how nature works together, and relating to each other as kind of more like neurons in a network. And what emerges from that is truly amazing. It's truly amazing what emerges from that. So let's see where we're at for time on this one. Hour 35. Good, cool. So we'll give Adam a shout. Oh, it's Christmas Eve, of course. Right. Had 2 hours ago. Looks like he's probably offline. I'll just let him know. Super tired. Probably going to bed soon. Whatever, if he replies, maybe he will. Maybe he won't. Alright, so anything left we were gonna do to wrap up the day? This is still going, that job, so we're still making that that meeting with Dustin. Still creating a video for that to upload to YouTube, and this is an example of how annoying the production pipeline can be sometimes. Yep. Yep, so I mean, it can take hours for a clip to render, and before you can even upload it, and I don't know why YouTube doesn't, because they want to just artificially be a service only for video, not for audio. But why wouldn't they let you upload an MP3 and a picture and then just do this? You know, they're gonna re-render this video anyways. They're gonna like it's gonna be completely redone on the server, so it's kind of a waste, but it doesn't matter. So feel like I'm getting almost too tired to continue. One last thing I want to do on here then, before we wrap this up. I'm gonna close this file. I don't need that. That's the 6 hours. We'll get rid of that. Clean up time. And maybe we'll hit in a Minecraft. So I'm gonna do just a quick introduction to the Portal Mountain Minecraft Memory Palace project. And so it's a community project, trying to get other people. So we've had 2 or 3 others in the server. We're hoping to get more. And what it is we want to get to this point where we're able to create these spaces in Minecraft, which are called a memory palace. And so just to quickly explain what that is, very simply, it's like a way of remembering things. So like, just from this mega memory course, I listened to an audiobook like 10 years ago or more, and just a basic example I remember from that was like, you need this visual space. So one visual space could be like your body. So and this may sound weird, but imagine if you have a hook in certain different parts, like one on your nose, and then one on your collar, one on your belly button, you know, like one on your knee and one on your foot, one on your elbow. So you got these places on your body, and then you visually imagine a list. Like, let's say you gotta go shopping, and this is kind of trivial, I guess, but you want to remember a list, so you need eggs, milk, and butter, and you can't forget these things. It's very vitally important, let's say. So you'll use these hooks which you've previously established, and you'll write, I can't remember how these don't conflict with each other if you reuse the hooks, but anyways, you can. So your list for the day, so like the hook that's on your forehead, let's say that's to remember milk or whatever. Maybe there's a hook on the top of your head, whatever. So you imagine milk being poured on your head and just waterfall all over your body, over your face. There you go. That's a visual of milk on the top hook. Now you need see, I already forgot what we need. We need eggs or whatever, right? So and butter. So I don't know, it's just dumb, like Like, so for your nose hook, like imagine taking an egg, taking a whole egg, an uncracked egg, and stuffing it into your nostril. Like imagine if it could fit there, if somehow it would fit, right? So now you've got this list, the shopping list. You've already dumped milk on your head and shoved an egg in your nose, and so so butter for your I guess collarbone. I don't know, maybe you could put it somewhere else, but um, so you'd want to visualize something like, what does it have to do with each other? What would whatever butter have to do with? How would that how would that interact? Okay, so imagine like a rack of lamb or whatever, like this type of bone with meat, and just cooking it in butter, just good giant block of butter being cooked with this bone. And there you go. So that's your shopping list, and you won't forget it. When you get there, you just have to remember what happened to my head, what happened to my nose, what about my collarbone. And so to use that now, to pull that over to our Minecraft world, we're going to join the Portal Mountain realm, and maybe it's already pretty obvious how that would work. But so by creating rooms in Portal Mountain, and this is another, or in Minecraft, this is another very common way of linking these memories, or like things that you want to remember, to space. It's very common to have, instead of hooks on your body, to have hooks on or something in various rooms of your house. So you're having this very vividly memorized space, which is your house, and you're utilizing it to imagine things happening in those rooms, and those things are related to what you need to remember. And so here we are. It's raining. This is kind of interesting because right where we are right now, I know the base is back that way. I don't know if the sun's gonna rise anytime soon. But anyways, it's not really important that I find the base, but I just want to make sure that there's no monsters around. So yeah, actually I'm gonna go find the base. But so within Minecraft, yeah, let's go. Let's roll. We are reversing course from that video that I recorded, a little music video. There's the flower garden that we passed. There's going to be some kind of like trench that I almost fell down. Not that. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Uh-huh. I'm just going to keep walking straight. Because I know that I came from this way. And it was recorded onto a video that I I guess improvised a music video for something, for a song that I sang, and we recorded a little jam on Friday. Anyways, it came together pretty cool. So I can already see the base up ahead, and I'm just gonna position the camera here so that so that you can kind of get a better visual of what it might mean to articulate different memories or different things or systems or whatever. Can I even get up here? I can always cheat. And let's see. I can pull out my trusty blocks. Hey, hey, hey. And, oh, the sun is rising. I'm gonna go up on my tower and watch the sun rise. Oh boy, that was a creeper. I almost got exploded. Okay, just for now, I'm just gonna hop over to this tower here and see what kind of sunshine action we got? Oh, I'm hearing like... I guess I'm hearing Minecraft noises in my headphones. Anyways. Okay, so... sun is rising. Good. It's daytime. Monsters are going to sleep. And... so if we continue on, sun is rising in the east. Of course, it's going to the west. So it's rising from the east over there. That means this is our north. And we've aligned, or I've aligned anyways, just some initial, these towers. Like you can see a tower off in the distance there. This is our center point of this base, so maybe I'll go upstairs. These are just some quick structures here. So that's off to the east there. We can see a bit of a tower here to the north. This is another tower to the west. That's the obelisk. And there's a giant tree in the way. Okay, so... anyway, so this will give an idea. So this has been spatially arranged already. We have northeast, southwest, and these we've given them we've given the directions additional meaning. So east here we have the sand, and that's the devotional temperament. North here we have academic. That's you can see actually down there the building of cobblestone, academic. West here we have pragmatic, and that is constructed of wood. And then to the south here we have dirt. There's a pile of dirt somewhere, and that is the perceptive temperament. Okay, and so that is also time. I believe it's time, and then north is space, and off to the east here is expansion, I believe, and to the west is consolidation. So here we also have more ordered and more orderly here. Pragmatic, of course, being like the abstract, relating to abstract, and sort of condensation or a consolidation of narratives into meanings. And here you go. Do you want your phone right now? Okay. Alright. Anyways, so that's kind of an example of how meaning can be mapped into space, and then like into three-dimensional space. And then as I walk around here, I can meditate on what the meanings of the different areas are and what they represent. And then of course, so this is just a very early kind of sketch of that type of meaning making that we're putting into this. Initially, what we have here is like basically the Minecraft archetype. So our environment that we are encoding here is Minecraft. So we need to be setting up a workbench, an oven for like, what do you call it? A furnace, that's the one. So for like smelting iron or whatever, for getting iron ingots out of iron ore. Places to store stuff, to store places to rest. So all of this kind of stuff, like I'm just looking at a base right now, like a bed. Um, all of this stuff is to do with basically the Minecraft archetype. So it's kind of like basic stuff that has to be present in order for us to even operate in this environment. So that's kind of one of the first missions or objectives right now to this space, is setting up a base, having torches around so monsters don't come creeping around too much. Um, Getting so we have the mine shaft going. We have the ability to go and search for minerals and cave exploring and this kind of stuff. And further to the memory palace um, theme. I'm thinking if it's anything else. Um, so this is what represents what I just talked about. That Minecraft archetype. What we needed here was a protection. So this is like some kind of a safe place to be. So we had to create a safe space in the environment of Minecraft in which we can function and do our stuff. We can cook. We won't be attacked by monsters all the time. We can put a bed down and rest. So that's kind of what this wall represents, a protection. And the furnace is representing kind of production. And somebody put a fish in there. Puffer fish. Alright, that's cool though. I like that that's there. Seems very formidable. So anyways, so long as this wall exists in this Minecraft game, and even to some extent in our memory, so long as that exists, so too will this shared objective be of creating this protected space, of just having this initial like base. This means build a base and get productive in Minecraft. This having nothing to do with anything else. No specialized memory palaces. We're not trying to remember anything else in particular. Okay, and before I built those towers outside of the base, this was the next kind of I don't know if you'd call this. There's got to be another word for it. Not like a monument, a shrine, a this is done. This is what people do. We modify our space to have meaning, like to have deep meaning, and this is like what all the like cool structures, like cool old structures, like Stonehenge and stuff like that. Like people built these things for a specific purpose. And anyways, so I built this, and I built an intention into it. That's kind of one of the keys there. So the intention was to unfold this tight symbolic mesh, to unfold it into the space. And there you have those towers now outside the base, which kind of expand our limits. And you have again here, so that's sand, east, west, north, south, and then it manifested. So that was kind of like how I expressed an intention into external media, and then used that artifact and its presence to keep reflecting back to my mind. Like I know that artifact is there, and I know my intention is built into it, and so it kind of in the background can kind of guide you to do those actions that you had intended. and so again with this as well, this is one of the first things I built, and this was saying, okay, build a base. Right, this is our intention, to build a protected space that we can work in and work with. And so much later on, we're going to have many different memory palaces, like, and a lot of palaces here in on the server are just going to be like a hallway, and each you just walk down the hallway and there's a room after room after room, and each room has certain blocks and certain things that are have very deep meaning built into them, to help us remember things and remember intentions and remember how we want to remember things, just kind of like as a three-dimensional space imbued with imagination and intention, to help manifest things, like even projects, like every project I've mentioned, every protocol I've mentioned. These are all going to have building spaces, and that's it for today. That is it for today. For today, we are going to bed. We are going to bed. Sun is setting down. It is time to go to bed. And let us always remember the importance of rest, because the sun is going down and we want to be full of energy tomorrow. Therefore, I wish you a good night. Do 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 do. And we are still recording. Therefore, you can't take my flag down. And you're bumping my video all over. Stop streaming. Good night, ladies and gentlemen.